Angela Duckworth wrote a book that summarized her findings around what separated achievers from those that never quite reached their full potential. What she found was that it wasn't athleticism, intelligence, or looks that separated the pack, but instead something that she calls grit. Grit, as she defines it, is passion and perseverance for very long-term goals. The key here is long-term. It's sticking with your future day in and day out and working really hard to make that future a reality. The interesting thing she discovered in her research is that kids who are naturally talented aren't those that necessarily have grit. Instead, grit is developed from a belief that the ability to learn and improve is influenced directly by your level of effort. It's believing that the more you give, the more you get. And most importantly, it's faith in the fact that failure is never permanent.
So how does this apply to you as an athlete? The only way you're ever going to reach lofty goals, whether that's to be on varsity, to play in college, or to make it to the national team, is if you always look at where you are right now as not yet achieving that goal rather than failure. Failure feels really permanent, and it convinces a lot of talented kids to give up or quit trying. If we shift our mind to looking at every obstacle as a challenge that we haven't figured out yet, it allows us to push through and to keep at it until we achieve what we set out to. It gives us endurance as we pursue our goals. I'll give you an example. I started playing volleyball when I was a freshman in high school. I went to a D3 college to play and decided there that I wanted to be on the national team. It's not like I went around telling everyone that I wanted to be on the national team. I probably would have gotten a few laughs, but I knew that it was what I wanted. Coming out of college, I knew I needed to play pro volleyball, and I got into the lowest team in one of the lowest leagues. Had I taken this as a failure, I probably would have stopped. Instead, I reminded myself that I wasn't where I wanted to be yet, but that this was a step in that direction. I mapped out a plan with steps that I needed to take to get there, and I still have that piece of paper today. Over the next 4 years, I took those steps and worked my way through different leagues, getting better contracts, and playing for better teams. Then after 4 years, I got a shot. My agent got me a tryout in LA for the national team. I flew from Germany to LA and had a 2-week tryout. It was the tryout that I had worked for 8 years. I made the team and was sitting in a room with gold medalists, Olympians. I spent 8 years reminding myself that every step wasn't failure, but instead that I just wasn't there yet. And finally, I was there. Having grit isn't easy because it isn't about being super committed for a week or a month. It's about being in it for the long haul. It's about believing in your ability to improve and committing to the process. It isn't about now, it's about not yet.